Good afternoon. I hope you're making the most out of the day. I hope you know that life with God is a cool thing. Life with God is not rules-based, but faith-based. And I don't know if you've thought about this before, but faith is all about the future. Faith behind you is fact, and what's going forward is faith. And so everything that requires faith is unknown for you except the promises of God. God's promises are true, and they can give you hope in spite of circumstances on this planet called Earth. In Deuteronomy 30, around the 15th verse, there was a conversation going on with God to really the nation of Israel, trying to encourage them to consider life to live by faith rather than some set of expectations, some set of rules, some parameters designed by man in order to get a specified outcome or behavior from other men around them. But what God said there in Deuteronomy 30 is there's going to be a day where I'm going to tear out that heart of stone and replace a heart of flesh, and I'm going to give you my desires. He says that early on. But in verse 15, he's talking about he set before people life and prosperity and death and adversity. He set before you the possibilities. Those things are out there before you. Those things are going to require a certain level of faith to act upon those things. And the idea was sent to the Jewish people. I just have kind of lived life thinking that way, that set before me are days of life, and set before me is the possibility of death. And death is likely 100% probability, so it's not really a far-fetched leap of faith to suspect that's coming. So I just build my life around, I'm going to live life to the fullest, irregardless of when that date hits. And it's just a way of life for me. And what really kind of made me think more about that this particular day was we had plans for the weekend, and we rented an Airbnb and got everything structured the way that we wanted it. And all of a sudden, a storm front came across the country and intersected our plans with the reality of this storm, and people perished from the storm. I haven't had time to look to see how many, but I've been pondering those families. I suppose it's 75 families were kind of touched by this storm in a kind of an adversarial way with death, and been thinking about them and what that means to them and how they might find hope in these circumstances. And the reality is death is set before all of us. Only variable is when. And so as you consider life, that's set before us, and we can live every single day to the fullest, irregardless of what situations or circumstances might intersect our lives. I just encourage you today to put your confidence in living and to trust God to put away any fears towards death that might be before you, because He's given us the hope over death, and that hope is in Jesus. Hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you all real soon.